Every bad habit in trading starts as a choice. And it's important to understand because nobody wakes up and says, I think I'm going to sabotage my trading today. What happens is that you're still new. You don't have years of proof that your rules actually work. So you bend them. You hold a loser longer because you think maybe it'll turn. You take a setup that doesn't check every box because it looks close enough. And you bump your risk up a notch because this one really does feel like it's going to be the one that hits. And in those moments, you're not actively trying to be reckless. You're experimenting. You're searching for something that feels right. And since you haven't built the habit of following rules and trusting them, it doesn't feel wrong yet. But that's exactly how these habits form. You make the choice once, nothing terrible happens, maybe you even win, and your brain will register it as safe. Do it again, it feels easier. Do it 10 times, and it stops feeling like a mistake. It feels normal. Now, you're not bending the rules anymore. You've actually quietly written new ones in your brain. And those new rules don't lead to profitability, they lead to inconsistency. And that's how things like overtrading are born. That's how chasing losses feels like something you should do. That's how moving stops becomes your second nature. They all started as single decisions that were never corrected. And repetition is what hardened them into these bad habits. And once they're habits, they run on autopilot. And this is why I preach accountability so much, especially with traders, new traders. On your own, you will not notice that slow drift into that bad habit. You think you're still following the strategy, but in reality, you're just trading your impulses. Someone over your shoulder, a mentor, a peer, or even just a community, they can point out those slips while they're still small. They can say, that wasn't patience, that was hesitation, or that wasn't practice, that was boredom. Those corrections in the moment that they happen are what stop mistakes from solidifying into habits that you'll fight against for years. And think about it like lifting weights. If your form is wrong and nobody corrects you, you'll keep repeating the bad form until it feels natural. And at that point, it's harder to unlearn than it would have been to get it right the first time. Trading is no different. Every trade is a rep, and you're training something whether you realize it or not. So, follow your rules, you train discipline. Break them, you train indiscipline. Both are conscious decisions at first, but with enough repetition, they become unconscious responses. And that's where most traders get stuck. They've rehearsed their mistakes so many times, their mistakes become their identity. But there's another side to this. The same way bad habits form, good habits form too. Every time you wait for confirmation, you strengthen your patience. Every time you size your trade properly, you strengthen control. And at first it feels forced, then it feels normal, and eventually it just feels automatic. And that's when trading changes. When following the rules doesn't feel like effort anymore, it just feels like the thing you're supposed to do. And the bridge between the two is evidence. Once you've seen enough proof that your rules actually work, it becomes easier to stick to them. And the temptation to bend fades because you've built that trust in yourself and your process. But you only get there if you keep the early mistakes from snowballing into permanent habits. And that is the whole game of trading. Catching mistakes before they grow. Because a mistake you ignore today is a habit you'll carry on tomorrow. And habits, good or bad, will decide who you become as a trader.